So, hello and welcome to the Work in Progress podcast. I'm Daniel, and that's
I,
if you're probably wondering why I have the famous Stalin photo of the one where he disappeared all of the people around him. Well, there was a recent Photoshop update where that is just an automatic button now. And I want to show you how insane it is. So, yeah, this guy over here, he messed up. So now he's going to get removed from the image. So we're just going to we're going to do this. It's going to load. Bam, gone. But you know what?
What the fuck?
For YouTube's sake, Stalin is actually really bad for our algorithmic engagement because, that's really offensive. So we're going to remove Stalin from this image because, we don't want that, mucking up our, ad revenue. You know what?
What the fuck?
Barrier is a really decisive and really fucked up figure in Russian history, so we're gonna remove him as well, because he did really horrible stuff during the time he was in the NKVD. So we're just gonna remove him. Now it's just Zhukov looking at the Volga River, but I really don't like this building in the background because I think it's too tall, so we're just gonna remove that one. So we just removed that, but I don't like that this is a river, so we're gonna remove the entire river aspect of this image.
What the fuck's it gonna do with this one?
There we go. We're gonna remove the river. So now it's a street. You know what?
I don't like that guy in the background.
This is a communist image, so this is too much industrial fucking progress, and it's a little bit too capitalistic. So we're gonna remove the entire city over here. There we go. We're gonna remove this as well. There we go. There, and then we're gonna remove this guy. Remove the fence too. Hold on. While we're at it, Zhukov, he was a communist, so we're just gonna remove him as well.
Oh, Zhukov, yeah.
There we go. And then we just fix the street a little bit, and that's so fucking crazy that's just a tool.
So what is that? Is that does it use AI to determine what it is?
Oh yeah, I played around with it a little bit, and it will if you select a person's face, either it will just remove their head and turn them into the Invisible Man, or it will replace their face with a weird AI face that looks terrible. But yeah, that's just a tool now in Photoshop.
I'm not sure how I feel about
it. We didn't just remove the guy. We removed every single contextual thing about the image.
That's kind of fucked in a way.
Yeah. Hey, Photoshop, sponsor us.
Yeah. Good question. Did you get grandfathered in?
So I was grandfathered in for a Photoshop thing for a while, where I only spent $10. I think they finally bumped me up to $16, but that's still less. That's still less than paying for Photoshop.
That's fucking hilarious that you could.
Yeah, but I think shit like that kind of does justify the price of Photoshop a little bit because it constantly updates with new tools.
Yeah. Correct.
And the other cool thing about Photoshop is that sometimes they actually listen to feedback. So if they made a severe change, they'll undo it. Or if somebody has a complaint about certain positionings of stuff in Photoshop, they'll actually change it for the better. So
Never
Some of
thought.
their business practices really do suck, though. So it's a give and take.
Never thought the podcast would begin with us rewriting history, but then again, that's nothing new.
I think that's just. I just like to use that as an example because that's basically what the tool is just the Stalin button.
Yeah, yeah. I've recently been accustomed to that. Well, I'm not saying going to say custom. I've recently learned that's almost like a saying, which is like someone got Joseph Stalin, which is just erased basically.
They get well. He was history's greatest magician, right next to Randy Pitchford. See, Stalin made people disappear, and Randy Pitchford made Sega's money disappear.
Yeah, and he may or may not be on the Yakuza shit list.
Oh God.
I'll never forget there was one interview. Well, so Borderlands 3 came out, and there was a character that was voiced by Troy Baker originally, right, in the different game. And there was some kind of like drama about how I wasn't. What was it? Like, so Troy Baker said one thing as to why it didn't happen, and then Randy Pitchford chimed in, and I forget what he said exactly, but like Troy Baker kind of had that response of like, "Oh, I see. So that's the story you're gonna spin. Okay, dude, whatever." So I feel like it wasn't really a good reason as to why he got replaced. But
there was that famous interview where like Jim Sterling like fucked with Randy Pitchford during like the interview.
Yeah.
And then like years later he did another interview where he was still really salty about Jim Sterling, and he was like, I don't even remember that dude's name. Like,
yeah,
it's like, you remember that exactly.
Yeah, he has like that thing where like I remember he quoted it. He said in like an IGN interview, it's like, yeah, there was that one British guy that's like a hard on for me. It's just like, I like how you're trying your best not to like say his name when you probably already really know what his name is.
Dude, like every human being on this planet is like 3 seconds away from finding out what the fuck a name for something is.
Yeah, and if it's like something that's almost like historic or iconic within the context of what you do. Like, I'm sure if I type in like British guy fucks with Andy Pitchford, I could probably find it.
That or just if it's still in his head that guy like fucked with him,
yeah,
and gave him a really bad, like, he knows who that is. Like, he knows who that fucking is.
Well, didn't he allegedly sorry, I'm losing my voice here. Didn't he allegedly have an entire like press conference, like a panel or something, because of like him responding to that or some weird bullshit like that?
I don't know.
Randy
Pitchford's a goofy. He's the guy. Okay, for anybody who doesn't know, he's the guy who made fucking like was it Gearbox?
Yeah, I think he made it, and then he did like
the Borderlands. Yeah,
that's what they're pretty much known for now. Yeah,
he's the Borderlands guy, but like he's such a fucking weirdo, and he makes all of the wrong decisions all the time.
Yeah.
He is like the human personification of what like the mentality behind making a Sonic game was.
Yeah.
Where you just constantly fuck up, but people keep buying it.
I mean, pretty much, yeah. Like, I mean, Borderlands 4 is like right around the corner, and I don't give a shit about that. And a lot of people seem to be like very vocal about it, but it's probably going to sell well because it's fucking Borderlands, so
It's Borderlands. It is what it is. And we were talking like for like marketing strategies and stuff like that. And if you don't have competition in a very specific like niche, whatever you make is basically just going to be slop that people consume until the next big thing comes out. So you can coast if you find the right niche audience. You can coast on making mediocre shit.
Now, we're not encouraging you not to try, but like, definitely try. But sometimes, you could just make something that's just like people like, a general public could also just look at it and be like, ugh, this thing again.
I mean, think about like, for instance, what were they called? Ubisoft?
Yeah.
Ubisoft coasted on having open world games for a really long time because during that console era, I mean, there were a lot of people doing it, but it was still like fairly difficult for like hardware to do.
Yeah.
Now that there are open world games that are way better and there's a lot of them, their shit, it like they don't have that little like niche pocket anymore to like just coast on, because now they have competition.
Yeah. Yeah, man. I mean,
Like
hell.
if some, for instance, if somebody out there, this is an idea for anybody that's listening. If you make this, you will become rich. If you make a light gun, like, you know, where you shoot at the TVs, like one of those railgun shooters, like Time Crisis, if you manage to work and make one of those for computer games without any input lag, you're a millionaire.
Quite possibly, yeah.
If you made like a gun accessory and then made a whole bunch of railgun games for computers and then also like adapted older ones to being used on the computer, rich. You're rolling in it.
Yeah, more or less, yeah. Yeah, man. I mean, the sky's the limit when it comes to creativity. I mean, obviously, you know, if you've been a game developer, I imagine there's a bit of a challenge to it. You
Yeah.
know, that was one world that I knew I wasn't going to be into, was game development. Like, I wanted to do it at one point, and I was like, yeah, this is too fucking much. I can't do this.
There's only like, so for like drag and drop game engines, there's only so much you can do before you actually have to code, because like you're going to be like, okay, well I really need like this one specific thing to work, and then you're like, oh fuck. How do I get it to do that?
Yeah, I mean, here's the thing. Like, I've had an idea for like a visual novel because I feel like visual novels are quote unquote easy, for lack of a better word. But the reality is I'm actually using an engine called like Tyranno something. You actually introduced me to it,
Tyranno Builder, yeah.
Tyranno Builder, and apparently it's quite passable. I mean, there are people that say if you can code, it's better just to do that instead. But for someone who has like pretty much no experience, like this can actually like, you know, fill. It can like do the things I need it to do. You know, from the looks of it. But
I mean,
still.
as a single developer making a, because I think that a lot of like independent developers who kind of they fall into this trap called
Uh, uh,
feature creep.
Feature. Oh God, don't even get me started on that.
Because feature creep is like, oh yeah, and then we're gonna have like open world, and then we're also gonna have like a dynamic inventory system, and then but then you only have like 3 people actually working on it, so then like you added so many features that it just can never be completed by the small team.
Yeah, I mean, there's one. I mean, there's one guy who's famous for that, but I mean, he's also infamous for other things now, like the Yandere guy, who
Oh, the
kept.
yonder rate.
Yeah,
Yeah.
he kept doing that way. He kept like he was like I remember. I'll never forget. Like before, you know, all the stuff came out about him. He'd be like, "Oh yes, I am very much a big fan of open world games, and something occurred to me. This game only takes place at the school and in Yandere girl's bedroom. So now I've been working on a open world aspect where you cycle around on a bicycle. I'm just like,
And
oh,
you don't have to make something open world to have large areas. Like for instance, Dark Souls is basically just a linear game
it kind of is.
where you walk towards a direction, right?
Yeah,
You walk towards a direction, you see what's like you go into a loading area, and then it loads the next area.
yeah,
It feels like the first Dark Souls feels open world, but it's actually linear with branching paths that you
pretty
can backtrack to.
pretty much is. Yeah,
And, you know, they used a lot of technical sorcery to make that happen. Like all of the trees are cardboard.
that's what was
There,
crazy. Yeah,
you need to like, and I think that's one of the reasons why a lot of games are like bloated when it comes to file size, is that they're not thinking about how they can save a whole bunch of processing space, because computers have gotten so good. Like anybody can just like make a fucking 100 fucking gig game, and then most people could be able to play it.
yeah.
And that's a problem because it's really fucking annoying.
It is. Yeah, it is. But I do want to mention I've been watching a ton of films lately. I actually have a list of them so that way I can remember them.
Oh, what'd you watch?
So there's like almost like a half a dozen here. So I watched a film called Darkman, which is made by Sam Raimi.
Oh yeah, the basically the pilot to the Spider-Man movies.
Well, yeah, because the guy I was watching it with called it Spider-Man Zero, and it definitely has like that energy at times. But I will admit, I don't think it's a good film in my opinion. It felt
What I like about it is that it's a comic book movie that isn't based on an actual comic book.
well. That does segue into the second film I'm going to talk about. But
Mhm.
this film, like, I think I actually can't tell if it was trying to be funny at times or if it was just like, like a B movie kind of thing where it just kind of happened. But like, I generally think it was very experimental for Sam Raimi because it just seemed kind of off the walls, but not in a particularly good way, in my opinion.
See, what that movie proved is that he can have insane superhero action scenes on a ridiculously low budget.
Oh yeah,
Because then when they were like, here, do Spider-Man, here's like the $10 million, is like, $10 million? I haven't had that much money for a movie ever. They're like, haha, he'll fail because like that's not enough money to make a Spider-Man movie.
yeah, yeah.
And it was like, I'd actually kind of want to see how much like the Spider-Man 2001 budget. I want to find the adjusted for inflation section.
Yeah.
Spider-Man 2001 adjusted for inflation. Oh, it actually had a pretty high budget.
But yeah, like, but honestly though, I do think that was a really stupid film. Like, I will say the part where he's like, take the fucking elephant is gonna like live rent free in my brain forever. Take it,
Oh,
take the fucking elephant.
yeah. Spider-Man 2002 at the time had a 7 million budget adjusted for inflation is 139 million.
Yeah,
But you think about all of the shit that they did with that movie and how good it looks.
yeah,
There's some things that are a little bit shaky, but that's to be expected. It was made, you know,
yeah.
2 decades ago.
Yeah, yeah. Now, the second film, which kind of, is a bit of a segue, is so I learned that Sam Raimi originally wanted to do The Shadow, and
Hmm.
the studio denied him. So the reason why he made Darkman was basically be like, okay, fuck you, I'll just make my own thing, which is kind of why the outfits are kind of similar in a way.
Yeah.
But yeah, I also watched The Shadow with Alec Baldwin, and I was watching it with two friends, and let's just say by the end of that film was like, yeah, that was a fucking stupid film by the end of that.
Um, you see, in the '90s, there was a revival of like these pulp kind of things
Yeah.
from back in the day, because also for some reason in the '90s, and you can see this in The Mask, is that for some reason swing music came back.
Yeah.
Yeah, so like everybody wanted it to be like the for some reason everybody wanted to be like the early like 1930s or the 1920s.
Hmm.
And a lot of that also like bled into movies. That's because like, you got The Shadow, The Phantom. You like the more successful movies would be like The Mask of Zorro with Antonio Banderas.
Yeah.
That's actually a really good movie. Another one would be The Mummy.
Oh, really?
So like yeah, because like that's based off of a '30s movie with like Boris Karloff.
Okay. Okay.
So like during that, a lot of those movies were hit and miss. The Shadow was one of them. I think that there are a lot of cool things in The Shadow, but for the most part, it doesn't really work.
No, not really. I just, but because when it began, we were actually kind of interested, and then by the end of it, it was like, oh my god, this is stupid.
I think if it was 15 minutes shorter, it would actually be a really good movie.
Yeah, because I do feel like by the end we kind of wanted to like escape from it, but we
It
were so far in, we wanted to finish it.
it drags in the middle.
Yeah.
I really like the him almost drowning sequence. That's actually kind of a really cool action sequence.
Oh yeah, with Tim Curry, he was like, yeah, I'm gonna drown you. Yeah.
Yeah, there's that one. There's the beginning one where they put a guy in concrete shoes and then he shoots the concrete off of his feet.
Yeah.
That's cool. Yeah, Tim Curry kind of had a really stupid like end in that movie. He just like he teleports behind him and just bonks him,
He bonks him and then he tricks him into thinking that the fire exit is through like a shard of glass or something.
which is dumb. That's
Yeah,
dumb. They could have done a better thing. They could have
it's
made that a lot better. The villain was kind of cool.
yeah, that guy, the where he had like the dagger and everything.
Well, that and like he fucking like mind controls people.
Yeah. Oh yeah, Ian McKellen's in that film.
Yes, he is.
Yeah. But yeah,
I think
man. I wasn't too. By the end of it, we was like, yeah, we're fucking done with this stupid shit. But sorry.
I mean, like another thing that like was an old thing that did work in the '80s and then didn't work in the '90s was Batman.
Yeah, 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 man. But yeah, and then after that, because I've been like into horror recently, I also watched Candyman, the original one. That film,
It's kind of boring.
it kind of is, but like I was kind of surprised how they didn't like they weren't pussyfooting around with the law, like when they talked about like the kid with the bathroom, for example. I was
The vibe in that movie is good.
it has a vibe to it, but Jesus Christ, like I've never seen a main character get fucked over so hard by an unstoppable by like a force that's like kind of there but kind of isn't at the same time, because it's almost like it's tied to her, but then like he only becomes physically like manifested around other people kind of through her at the same time.
It is a Clive Barker story.
Yes, that's what I found out about it. That it was based on a book by Clive Barker, and I was like, huh? It was just like I was so gobsmacked. I was like, holy shit, this is a Clive Barker story.
I mean, when you watch it, it's kind of obvious.
Yeah, but it was one of those things where I was like, it had the energy, and then when I found out, I was like, of course, a fucking course.
Yeah, it's a pick. It had picked like him picking meat off of him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There are sequels to it, but I'm probably not even gonna fucking bother.
They're not worth it.
Yeah.
No, like the first one was already not like the best movie ever, and then like the sequels just go down hard.
But goddamn, the vibe of that first one, I love the vibe, but goddamn.
Yeah, there's a lot of horror movies that aren't scary, but like that like I don't find The Thing scary.
No.
A lot of people like it's a scary movie. I don't find. They're like, oh, the atmospheric dread and whatever. It's like, I don't know, like those pumping synth sounds don't really give. I think it's a really good movie. It's not scary. Conceptually, the idea is, but the idea of it is also pretty scary. But that's just like in practice, it is kind of fucking goofy.
Yeah, I mean, it is a weird one. Even when you remember, even when you look into like the source material of it, it's so fucking bizarro.
It is definitely a I made this on cocaine book.
Yeah, which I don't think he ever like mentioned that he did that one on cocaine, but I can definitely tell he did. But I do know there was another book, I think it was called Tommy Knockers, he did, where he actually hates it just for the fact that he did it under the influence.
That's because that one really does suck.
Oh, okay. I'll probably just avoid that then.
Yeah, that movie. I mean, give that movie a shot.
Now, I did watch another film called Fantastic Beasts and Where to Find Them, which is like the spin-off prequel Harry Potter thing.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm going to be honest with you, I was not really too fond of it myself.
It just didn't have the same energy.
You know what I think it is, and I know this isn't necessarily like it's weird. How do I say this? Harry Potter to me is a very British thing, and in the same way that Doctor Who is, like you just kind of associate it with British like shit, So for it to be taking place in America, which in the books they do say that there are other like magic schools and what have you around the world, but I just wasn't really vibing with it, and not only that too, the main character kind of like pissed me off, So
yeah.
But and this isn't really the film's fault, but the presence of Ursa Miller kind of gave me a bit of a bad taste in my mouth.
Oh, he's in that?
Yeah, apparently he's in all three of them.
Yeah, because I didn't see these, but yeah, I didn't.
Yeah.
I don't like that guy.
What's hilarious too is that he plays a fucking freakazoid in that film as well. So the fact they got this guy to play a character that's like a fucking like freak, it's just like.
Does he play a villain?
He plays a guy that gets so in the first film he plays a guy that gets abused by his mother, but then he's also like, because his mother's kind of like, she's a muggle as they call them, or no mage in America as they say, and he's constantly getting and she is aware that there might be some witchcraft in the world, but like the public is just like, oh, look at this fucking town crier like spewing bullshit, And so she's like abusing her son and what have you, and so on and so forth. And then it turns out that her son, which is Ursa Miller's character, is actually some kind of like magical like entity that kind of like turns into gas and what have you. It's basically a bit like how you see the Death Eaters like fly around and shit in like that mist,
So he's like Dracula, like the original concept where he can just turn into smoke.
Exactly, yeah. And he's in the first film, and like at first it's believed that he dies, but then he turns out he survives because. I did try watching the second film, and it bored the shit out of me so much I turned it off halfway through.
Yeah.
So I would say if you want to look at it, maybe try the first one, but like that first one's going to determine whether you're into this or not.
You know what's a really bad movie that I actually like watching?
What's that?
The fucking Jupiter Ascending.
Why do I feel like I've heard
Jupiter Ascending. It's a Wachowski brother sister movie because, this was when one of them came out as trans, became a lady, and then the other one was still a guy at the time because now they're both sisters. But like one of them was, and that movie, how I said that like, shit like Rockadoodle, it's not good, but you can't say that anyone has or will ever make a movie like that again. Because like it's actually original.
Yeah.
Jupiter Ascending is like actually like an original fucking concept. Because there are tropes in it, but it's so weird that I would actually recommend anybody actually watch it. No, it's not good. No, for a fact, it's not good. But it is so weird. It's worth watching at least once.
Oh, Channing Tatum's in this.
Yes, he plays an anthropomorphic dog guy bounty hunter with fucking like rocket boots.
Yeah, I'm kind of curious about this now.
Also, the main character is Meg from fucking Family Guy.
Oh, like the current actor or like the previous actor?
Yeah, fucking what's her face?
Mila Kunis?
Yeah, Mila Kunis is the main character. Also, spoilers, but this is a movie that has Sean Bean in it where he doesn't die.
Okay. Also, Sean Bean, yeah. Oh, it just clicked to me what you said, yeah.
Yeah, Sean Bean's in it, and he's actually technically he's Sean B in the movie because he's like a fucking alien that bee whispers.
Okay, you know what? You got me morbidly curious about this.
You know how like I'm slowly starting to explain shit about this movie, and the more I do, the more you're like, what the fuck does that even mean?
Yeah, because you're saying this to me, I'm like, what are you talking about?
So. At the beginning, I'm going to explain it because explaining this movie is so crackheaded, and it doesn't do it justice. Because even if I told you the entire plot synopsis, watching it, you're gonna be like, I cannot fucking believe that this movie exists. Holy shit!
Well, I'll probably have to look this up in my own time because you got me more curious now.
I want to talk about it a little bit because when the fuck am I ever going to be able to talk about Jupiter Ascending?
You know what? Go for it, yeah.
So first of all, the main character's name is Jupiter, right? That's her name because her daddy was a fucking he was like an astrophysicist or whatever.
Yeah.
And for the entire run of the movie, they shorten it to Jupe.
Jupe.
So her name is Jupe for a good chunk of the film. But that's not the thing. I'm going to start off from the beginning of this fucking film. It turns out that there is a collective alien empire that goes from... They basically turn the planets into farms. So, like, the concept is that, like, they'll terraform a planet, have people live on it, build up like, you know, a planet, a society, a culture, and then once it's harvesting time, they go and harvest all of the people on the planet at once to
Oh.
make basically a lotion that makes them young.
Oh.
So that way the emperors can live forever, right? And there are 3 different emperor fucking factions that work together but hate each other.
Yeah.
There's the rich good looking asshole, there's the rich good looking like lady, and then there's this weird freakazoid guy that like took over a planet of gargoyle men, and now he has gargoyle men with laser guns. So that's the setup.
I have to look this up because you got me morbidly curious.
That's the setup. And then it cuts to Earth, where Jupiter is like a fucking cleaning lady. And then over the course of the film, she finds out that she's actually like the princess inheritor of the goo. And they want to like capture her, marry her, get her in good favor, and then like murder her so that way they get the exclusive rights to the goo.
The fuck is this film?
And Channing Tatum is a bounty hunter that grows fond of her, and then they go on a space adventure where they get all of this shit explained to them, and then like they have a big fuck off climactic fight at the end.
Yeah.
That's the movie. And it's halfway through this movie, they're like, all right, we gotta leave here, but like to do that we need to get like a ship and like the rights in order to leave.
Mm-hmm.
So the movie takes a hard stop for like 15 to 20 minutes where they go to a bureaucracy planet. And that's probably one of the most interesting parts of the movie. Remember in Futurama when, like, you know, Hermes had to go get, like, his shit renewed and they were in line forever?
Oh,
and
yeah.
he had to jump through a shitload of hoops? It's like that, but, like, a planet.
Okay.
It's kind of like that, but a planet. And there's so many different creative alien designs. There is a fucking elephant man space captain.
Elephant Man Space Captain.
There is a man who is part elephant, and he is a space captain. And he's just in the movie, has no talking lines, but he's just there.
That's funny.
That's just accepted that there is an elephant man space captain. This movie is fucking crazy.
All right, I'll have a look into that then because I still want to watch like a lot of films.
There's a part because Channing Tatum is like part dog hybrid man,
Yeah.
where she asks if his plumbing downstairs is human or dog-like.
Oh God, what's the answer?
Yeah, I'm gonna let the audience and you find it.
Fair do. All right, yeah, I'll look into that. I do have one last thing I do want to say about Fantastic Beasts, which is kind of like the film. It's not really the film's fault per se. The main villain behind the scenes is actually played by Johnny Depp. The downside, however, was by the time the third film came out was when that Amber Heard shit was happening. And
So they didn't get him in the movie.
Yeah, but his replacement is really funny, which is Mads Mikkelsen. Yeah.
I gotta watch that fucking movie.
But you gotta sit through a decent film, a fucking boring film, and a third film, which I don't even know how that goes. So
I love how Mads Mikkelsen talks through his bottom lip.
my Mads Mikkelsen, I am
Mads Mikkelsen talks through his lower lip, but it's also nasally.
I am Mads.
It's almost like a younger, like conceptually younger version of Werner Herzog.
I was gonna say. Oh, speaking of which, before we came on here, I was watching Metalocalypse, and it happened to be the season where he like narrates parts of it. Yeah.
The crew, now damned forever by the CDC.
God, I'm almost scared of talking about him because of how fucking old he is. But like,
he's one of those fucking guys. He's one of those guys that's gonna live forever, like Clint Eastwood.
Yeah, or at least a very long time. Where when he does pass away, you're not going to be too sad, you know.
you're gonna be like, oh God, really? I mean, but the thing that I like about him is the fact that he's old as shit, but like he still has all of his facilities.
Yeah.
Like it's not one of those things where it's like really sad to watch him in like an interview or something because you're like, oh God, what happened to him?
Like yeah, like what's his face? British funny man Tim Curry. Yeah, like he. Yeah, seeing images of him.
He's getting better.
Oh, is he?
Yeah, he's slowly getting better because eventually, like the stroke shit does like heal. It just takes a long time because it's like neurological.
Oh, okay, okay. But yeah, like Werner Herzog, because I think he actually does go out his way to keep himself like fairly healthy, you know. So, but yeah,
it's also he's German, so yeah, it's also German people. They're assholes, and they're assholes that live forever. So that's like
I like the idea that you're too stubborn to die.
sorry, death.
Sorry,
you will not take me this night.
Sorry, death. My ticket is very far behind the line.
I am not going to punch that ticket.
God, I remember when I was at work, there's a lady there who we were like so. But there's a guy at work who does a really good David Attenborough impression, and I was doing Werner Herzog. So what we did was for this girl, we did this. I think I might have mentioned this before. We did this funny scenario where Werner Herzog and David Attenborough were commentators on a Street Fighter tournament. So
yeah.
I'd be like. But what was kind of funny was like the guy I was talking to like doesn't really know much about fighting games, so he had to kind of like ad-lib a lot of it. So I was like, two warriors fiercely entangled, trained by the same master, because it was like Ryu and Ken, right? So it's like trained by the same master, but ideals that do not match even in the slightest. However, what they do not know is that they are controlled by two avid gamers who are fueled by the concoctions of Mountain Dew and Doritos. You know, I was like something along the lines of that, and I was like, David, if I may be so bold to inquire, what do you see? What do you take in this spectacle? And he was like, two warriors facing, like he said something along the lines of that. But he was like,
he was like probably like the rippling the rippling musculature of the.
It was something akin to that, and then like as Werner Herzog, I was like, "You took the words right out of my vocal cords."
You have stripped the words right out of my vocal cords.
Oh, God,
I can do a pretty good one, but I have to like warm up to it.
You know what I think helps in my opinion is you kind of have to like scrunch your face and lean forward as if you're like a hunchback. In my experience, to do it.
What also helps, which is also really funny, is like Werner Herzog likes to
he voice acts.
Well, the thing is that like because he had like a speech impediment like growing up, and he was also learning multiple languages, he like speaks very slowly but very methodically. So he actually takes the time to think about what he says before he says it.
He does, yeah.
As he's saying it. So like there's really funny stuff in there where he'll just like, and the words that he uses extraordinarily like thesaurus-esque vocabulary.
Yeah.
So for instance, like talking about like fighting games, he would just be like, Ryu and Ken, once former allies, now bitter rivals, but not through any kind of abandonment or backstabbery, simply due to shifting political and economic ideologies, one quelching for an endless fight and the other selling out. He's fighting for a quick buck.
Yeah. God,
like,
God,
that's how he talks, and that's every single thing that he does. Even like in the Rick and Morty, where he's like, nothing but constant penis jokes.
Oh yeah, where it's like, I have 12 amongst the humans. Their very society is revolved around their penis size. I would go to
the so and so dick.
Hey, look at so and so's dick.
I'm making this look like pants, and then I remembered, oh yeah, that's right. This is not pants. This is her leg.
Her straight jacket's kind of like, well, it doesn't have like it's a fucking straight jacket, so you know.
It does like well, this one does have a skirt for the fact that we want to actually sell this.
Yeah. I mean, we talked about in a previous episode when you added the underwear, and I was like, why is there underwear? And you're like, well, if she's commando, it might give a bit of a bad impression to people who aren't of a certain society, you know?
I basically like got like the Super Saiyan 3 moron brow, and I looked at you like her entire attacks are like flying kicks.
Yeah, which
and
means
you want her to have a skirt, no underpants.
I wasn't even thinking it like that. Like, like I'm the guy who makes the thing that makes people think of like a different thing. You know, I don't want to say the thing, even though people probably know what I'm on about.
Well, no, it's that concept where it's like, oh man, this is a really good fucking idea, and then somebody walks up to you and says, yeah, but did you think about this though? And you're like, fuck.
Well, here's the thing, and I mentioned this before. I remember sharing this design to people, asking them what they think about it, and then there was, hey, by the way, real quick, do you want to make it where the fabric kind of like bulges up a bit on the upper thigh there?
What do you mean, like this?
That, but also like on the thigh itself, like the top. Actually, we'll come back to that later. But yeah, but what I was going to say was, so I sent it to a guy, and he's like, oh, I'm not into this. And I'm like, oh, you're not really fond of the design? It's like, no, I'm not into like BDSM. And I'm just like, oh.
That is a very weird way to like think about that, but
yeah, I mean, you could also argue too that maybe his mind was in the gutter, but at the same time, like I can assure you, like I did not even think about that. However,
that means that if he had the brain thought of that, people who are into BDSM will probably buy it. I could 100% see this comic like having merch in Hot Topic.
Well, yeah, and you know what? I wouldn't be against it. So yeah. And if you people out there that like straight jackets, buy a comic, please. Fucking, but no. But yeah, no. I mean, here's the thing. Like, I mean, wasn't there also that thing too, like the Wizard of Oz, where for some odd reason Dorothy like somehow like clicks with like gay people or something? Like, what is that?
Well, yeah.
Yeah.
I think I haven't heard that, but I'm pretty sure you can make an argument out of it.
Yeah,
I'm pretty sure you can make a good 45-minute like YouTube video essay.
Yeah, and you're just factually wrong.
And it's like, wow, that is a really cool concept. But no,
there are times when like I'm very picky or like which one of those videos I click on, because I do think a lot of it, because I think that people have a problem where it's like they think that because they're talking a lot about something, they know that they think they're right,
thinking about the iconography of that movie, it does have a little bit of gay energy.
It kind of does, yeah, to an extent. Not to interrupt, I do need to fetch my food. I can still work, by the way.
How long are we in the recording?
We are
43 minutes.
Yeah, I mean, you could just like, do you want to? You could just like either keep, recording or
Well, you know what? We can stop because we did a lot of BSing on this one. We can stop this one here, have it be a slightly shorter one, and then we'll see you in the next one. We'll just pick up right where we left off.
Oh, you want to stop there?
Yeah.
Okay. Just realized.
So that way we also don't like explode whatever editing software you use.
Yeah, speaking of which, well, actually, should we stop recording now then?
Yeah, we'll pick it up when we come back.
All right, then. All right, we'll see you all later.
All right. Y'all take it easy.
All right.